Welcome parents to an introduction to multiliteracies. My name is Jonathan Monkham and I am a part of the pre-K team here at AISJ. Today I will be introducing the theory of multiliteracies and how it manifests in our early childhood education classrooms. You are watching this video because you might be thinking, what is multiliteracies? There are many definitions of the theory, but I would like to use the meaning that the New London Group coined and created in 1994 as they pondered how technologies were influencing our increasingly global society. They said, a multiliteracies pedagogy accepts and encourages a wide range of linguistic, cultural, communicative, and technological perspectives and tools being used to help students better prepare for their rapidly changing globalized world. The New London Group devised the multiliteracies approach to address the changing scope of communication, in particular how technology changes and globalization were affecting education. This approach was a departure from the traditional 3 R's approach coined in the 1800s that saw a text-only approach. Approaches to literacy continued to evolve through the 20th century, responding to the cultural and language frameworks of the time as well as new technologies that became available. Through a multiliteracies approach, students will be prepared for their unknown futures by experiencing many different forms of communication, including but not limited to text, that is framed in various cultural and language perspectives. This approach to teaching may seem challenging or confusing, so let's take a look at some examples of multiliteracies happening in the classroom. Let's demonstrate some of the different manifestations of multiliteracies while developing pre-writing skills. Here you see a student learning about the shapes of letters of the alphabet during story time. Now the student is tracing the letters of his name using a directional letter map. Here he is watching and listening to an instructional song about letter formations. Then he practices these letter formations using the Writing Wizard app on an iPad. Here he is on a letter hunt around the early childhood halls to recognize and identify the beginning letter of his name. And finally, he's constructing the letters of his name out of loose parts. He then takes a photo of it to be printed by his teacher and hung on the letter wall in the classroom. Here are some of the different manifestations of multiliteracies while developing pre-reading skills. This student is listening to a read aloud on the carpet read by her teacher. She can also listen to an audiobook of the same text during snack time. Here she is engaged in a story retell using digital characters and settings to create an animation of her understanding. Now she is discussing the text and sharing her opinions via a podcast episode of her class. And finally, she is using the book creation app My Storybook Maker on an iPad to create her own version of the story. She can use cartoons, images, drawings, and audio to create her own work. Multiliteracies in the classroom does not take away the fundamental skills of reading and writing, but rather frames them in a mode that engages students and is responsive to their cultural and language perspectives. Through the use of multiliteracies, students engage in a variety of modes to express meaning. These experiences provide the foundation of skills that prepare them for their bright futures in a purposeful way. For more information on multiliteracies in early childhood education, please refer to this reference list by accessing the links in the description below.